Okay, working on this 188 Graymarine here, and the customer just wanted us to go through it. Like I said, we won't overhaul these anymore because you can't buy exhaust manifolds, but a couple common issues here that I've already run into, and I just wanted to share. All right, first of all, you can see there's not a whole lot of oil up here. All right, well, there's a reason. The reason is they have a bolt in the wrong place. If you look at these rocker arm bolts, okay, there are 4 of them. Well, if you look at them closely, that one's just, grade 5, grade 5, grade 5. And that one says rear. Well, yes, it's the rear of the engine technically, but this is a flywheel forward engine. The flywheel is right here. All right. Well, that rear bolt has a hole. It's hollow. So oil comes through that bolt. Well, the head is drilled over here. Well, when this head was casted in 19 whatever, they had no clue it was going to be flywheel forward. This was a car engine. So when we take this bolt out, we're going to find this little hole in here. All right. I don't know if you can see that. They're drilling out. Oh, they don't have any good light here. Well, there it is. See the hole there? Well, oil comes up through that bolt, and there's a couple holes right there, right just above the threads, and that's what feeds this rocker shaft. Okay, so oil comes up through there. Well, the problem is it comes up through this cam bearing up through this side. So that means that this rocker shaft has had no oil since it was last taken apart. And of course, a closer inspection there, rear, not the front of the, see, that's the front of the motor in a car. So flywheel's back here. So that bolt belongs here. And luckily, it does not look like it's ruined anything. I have seen these things get ruined for years. I've seen this mistake happen all the time. So we're going to switch that bolt around, and this baby will have oil again. So just be careful. Yes, it says rear, but you have to know what's going on, and you got to think of how the engine was when it's in a car. Okay, I warmed up the engine so we can do our valve adjustment because it's supposed to be done hot, and you can see we got quite a bit of oil up in here now. So switching that bolt again, rear to the engine rear, not the boat rear, I guess. Yes, we're going to run through the valve adjustments and check her out. So didn't sound too bad. I did an initial one cold, a couple of them were off, they weren't horrible, but I'm going to recheck it hot. Okay, working on our 188 Gray here. That was rebuilt a couple, 3 years ago someplace, and the oil leak in the front, which appeared to be the rear seal. Yes, I know it's flywheel forward, but it's rear seal. This seal, you know, it started, I pulled the flywheel off, you could see it leaking. So then I decided to check crankshaft thrust, and it was terrible. Like, way terrible. Here's a screwdriver, you know. I mean, there's a mile. You can hear it. So I took the, of course, the rear seal is trashed. I mean, it's even below flush there. This oil pan gasket, that's exactly how they had it in there. You can see the bolt holes line up. So there's a gap here. The seal's all saturated. But you know, on a rope seal, you can't have all kinds, or anybody's seal, really. Rubber's a little bit better, but you can't have movement in and out with the thrust. So upon a closer inspection, I thought maybe they had some bearings in the wrong spot, but that was just a faulty book that I had on a bearing book. But it turns out that there's a washer missing. So in the back of the, where the timing chain would be, okay, you see the chain there. This is the thrust bearing. Okay, so I pulled the #1 cap off. See, there's a flange. Okay, yep. Rings look good. It's got good oil pressure, as you saw earlier. But see here, there's nothing against that bearing face to go against. There it is on the crankshaft. There's the thrust face. Feels great. Okay, there's nothing here. There's supposed to be a washer between that lower crank gear and the main bearing face. I mean, it's got to have something to ride up against. So after some research, you know, luckily we keep old books around here. Look at this old jalopy, huh? Taped up. I mean, Christ, you think the library was bad back then? This is what we keep, you know. So I come to this page here, right? Well, look, number 24, we don't have. So, you know, that thrust washer goes in between there. That's what that main bearing has to sit up against. So this is a freaking game over situation. We get that washer, and I'm sure somebody's sitting on a 70479 thrust plate. So I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of shit screwed up in my career. I have never seen an engine screwed up this bad. I mean, from bolts wrong to gaskets. I mean, this thing leaks oil everywhere. I mean, they got silicone, shit's not right. I mean, it's actually very sad. You know, I'm sure the customer's got a lot of money in this, and to have these kind of issues sucks. You know, we don't bat 1,000 here. I don't want anybody to think that we are golden and we make zero mistakes. That is not true. We do screw shit up from time to time. I like to think we take care of it, but this here is just unbelievable. Like I said, that thrust washer is MIA. So we have a shot at saving this, but we're gonna have to disassemble this whole front, take transmission off again because it was missing a gasket. That's why it leaked oil there. So we'll check with the customer, see what he wants to do on this old V8 188.